Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I am Dr. Shehbaz here. So in this video, I will perform how to conduct and interpret multiple linear regression analysis in SPSS. Multiple linear regression is used to examine whether more than one independent variable significantly predict a continuous dependent variable. It also helps us understand the direction and strength of the relationship and estimate how much the dependent variable change when number of independent variables increase by each unit. So in this tutorial, I will explain when to use multiple linear regression, its major assumptions, conditions, and the step-by-step procedure in SPSS. We will also interpret the findings of correlation coefficient, R-square, ANOVA, regression coefficient, p-value, and other important statistics. So we have a data set of 412 respondents and we have 4 independent variables and 1 as dependent variable. So before going to perform multiple linear regression in SPSS, we need to ensure some threshold conditions and criteria. So it means there are several predictors explain and predict one outcome together. So we must see residual quality and predictor overlap both matter in multiple linear regression. So we will see whether the residual value violate the rules or not. And check 6 conditions before interpreting the path coefficient. Linearity, each predictor has an approximately linear partial relationship. Independent errors, homoscedasticity, normal residuals, no influential cases, low multicollinearity. And there are also some thresholds we need to ensure that tolerance level must be higher than 0.20 prefer. Variance inflation factor less than 5. R square should be between 0.25 to 0.75, which indicate the large and strong impact, weak impact, and the moderate impact. Standardized residual should be between -3 to +3. Hook distance less than 1 and leverage as well. So now we will go back to our data set. We will perform multiple linear regression SPSS. Go to analyze and then click on regression and click on linear regression. So we have one dependent variable as psychological green crime mate and other 4 independent variables put in independent variable set. Now go to statistics and click on descriptives, partial and part and partial correlations, collinearity diagnostics, and case-wise diagnostics, and click on continue. Plots, yes, we need to import the plot because we need to see the standardized residuals. So we will put ZRESID because this is a standardized residual. Put on y-axis and standardized predicted values on x-axis. So we also need normality probability plot. Continue. We go to save. We can keep all things same as it is. Otherwise, you can also see if you only want the standardized results, then click on standardized. And now click on hook distances to see the residual values difference and click on continue. So everything is good now. So we have set all parameters. Now we are going to click on OK, and in this way we can get the results. So you can see here, these are the descriptive statistics mean for each dependent and independent variable, standard deviation and number of sample size. Here you can see the correlation coefficient between the variables. So there is a positive correlation between green psychological climate and green compensation or reward. And there is also a positive correlation between green employee involvement and green compensation and reward. There is also a positive correlation, so all correlation indicates a strong correlation because the value is above 0.5, and as well the correlation coefficients are significant. So next, where we move to next as model summary, where we can interpret the R square. So it means our predictors were green training and development, green compensation and reward, green employee involvement, and green performance and management. So we have four independent variables. So it means these variables explain 65.6% of total variance in green psychological climate, because this is our dependent variable. So it means independent variables explain 65.8% of variance in green psychological climate. So if we see the criteria of R square, so the value is very close to 0.75. So we can simply say that the impact size is moderate to strong. Okay, so ANOVA table shows that there is F statistics is 195.493 and the p value is significant. So it means there is a significant impact of dependent variables on dependent variable. So this table shows the path model. There are path coefficient, unstandardized coefficient, but we will use standardized coefficient. These are the beta values. So in each case, you can see here, green compensation and reward significantly influenced psychological climate, because the t value, because beta value is 0.176, t value is higher than 1.96 and the p value is lower than 0.05. So in this way, we accept the alternative hypothesis that green compensation and reward significantly influence or impacted green psychological climate. On the other hand, you can also see green employee involvement significantly influence psychological green climate as well, because the t value is higher than 1.96 and p value is lower than 0.05. So in case of green, performance and management also significantly influenced psychological green climate. The value of t is higher than 1.96 and the value of p is lower than 0.05. So green training and development also significantly influence psychological green climate. So if we see the multicollinearity issue data, we see that the tolerance level is 0.513, 0.343, 0.328, 0.332, which is very close to as per suggested value. Because here in multicollinearity, the tolerance level should be higher than 0.20. So you can see the all values are higher than 0.20. On the other hand, the value of VAF, variance inflation factor, are lower than 5. So it means there is no multicollinearity issue in the data. Okay, so we now see the case-wise diagnostics and we can find the residual statistics. First of all, we need to see the charts. So you can see here normal probability plot of regression standardized residual. You can see all the residual are placing inside and very close to our reference line. So there is some normality issue in our data. On the other hand, if we see that the scatter plot, and you can see the standardized residual are above 3, because most of the values between the 3 and -3, but some values are above 3 and below -3. So it means there are some extreme outliers in our data. And we also come to see the tables. You can see here there are residual values that show the extreme outliers like this one. This value is higher than 3 and these values are lower than 3, -3. This is higher than +3 as well, this one, and other values are lower than -3. So it means these are the extreme values in our data. It means respondent number 275, 277, 279. So these samples should be removed from the data and we can conduct the multiple linear regression again. However, the most important thing we need to see the coefficient path model, because where we can interpret the results whether the independent variables predict the dependent variables. So in this way we have decided that, and we are going to say that all four independent variables significantly predicted the dependent variable psychological green climate. So in this way, we perform the multiple linear regression in SPSS. If you find my video helpful, please subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon so you can get my next video easily. Thank you.